The topic is the chain rule for functions of two variables with two independent variables. In other words, we have z as a function of two variables, x and y, but both x and y, see, x is a function of two variables and y is a function of two variables, u and v, the same variables, u and v. So, and then we need to be able to find partial derivative of z with respect to u and partial derivative of z with respect to v. So let's do this example. Z is equal e to the xy, x is equal u times sine v, y equal u squared v. And we're supposed to find the partial derivative with respect of z with respect to u first. So we're going to use this formula first. So before we do that, of course we need to know what is partial z with respect to x. So partial z with respect to x is the same thing as partial with respect to x of z. My z happens to be e to the xy. Since I'm taking derivative with respect to x, my y is constant. Well, let me show you all the formulas. We need to use this formula, e to the u. Derivative of e to the u is the same thing as u prime e to the u. So in this case, this is going to be u prime means partial with respect to x of u is xy, times e to the u. Now, this is going to be equal to partial of xy with respect to x. Y is a constant, so y e xy. Now, this is partial z with respect to x. Right, now we need to find partial of x with respect to u. Alright, partial x with respect to u. Partial x with respect to u is equal partial with respect to u of x, which is u sine v. Now remember, u is a sine of v is a constant. So partial of u times sine v is just going to be sine v. Well, let me take the constant outside. Since sine v is constant, then it's going to be sine of v partial with respect to u of u. Partial with respect to u of u is just 1. So this is going to be equal sine v. So this is 1, this is 2. This is 1, and this is 2. Now we need to find 3. 3 is what? Partial of z with respect to y. Now this is equal partial with respect to y of z. Z happens to be exy. Now again, I'm using this definition. This will be u prime, which is partial with respect to y of u. U is xy. E to the u. Now x is a constant, we can take it outside. Partial with respect to y of y, and then times exy. This is just 1. X times 1 is 1, so it's x e xy. And this is partial z with respect to y. So this is 3. Now all I need is 4 and I'm done. So partial 4 is partial y with respect to u. Partial y with respect to u is equal partial with respect to u. My y is right here, u squared v. Now remember, v is a constant, I can take it outside. So v partial with respect to u of u squared, which is 2u. So v times 2u, or 2uv. So this is 4. Now all I have to do is write the formula and finish it. Partial z with respect to u is equal partial z with respect to x times partial x with respect to u plus partial z with respect to y partial y with respect to u. Now this is going to be equal, this I already found, that's 1 y exy times partial x, this is 2, which is right here, sine v, plus partial with z with respect to y is 3, which is right here, x exy, times partial y with respect to u is 4, it's right there, 2uv. Remember, this whole thing has to be a function of x, of u and v. So I'm going to replace y by its value right here. So this will be u squared v e. My x happens to be u sine v times y. Y is u squared v times, let's do this, u squared v, all of that, sine of v, plus my x is u sine v, now e to xy, x is u sine v, let's do this, u sine v times y, u squared v, and all that times 2uv. So let's see if we can rewrite this a little bit better. Now this is going to be u squared v sine v. I'm going to write sine here, it looks better. So u squared v sine of v, and then e, u squared times u, u3v sine v, plus, let's multiply this by that, you get 2u squared v sine v times e, same thing, that would be u cubed v sine v. So this is just partial z with respect to u. Now we need to find partial z with respect to v. So again, I'm going to start with, let me rewrite it here. There's a formula. Partial z with respect to v is equal partial z with respect to x, partial x with respect to v, plus partial z with respect to y, partial y with respect to v. And I need to rewrite also the formula. Z is equal exy, and then x is equal u sine v, y is equal u squared v. By the way, I already found these 1 and 3. Remember, I call this 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, I already found the 1. So 1 is partial z with respect to x will be equal what? Partial z with respect to x is equal to y xy, and then 3, already found that one also, partial z with respect to y is x exy, so we don't have to do that. Now all we have to do 2 and 4. 2 is partial x with respect to v, which is partial with respect to v of x, u sine v. Now the u is constant, take it outside, partial with respect to v of sine v, but this is just derivative of sine of v is cosine, so this is u cosine of v. Now what else we need? We need 4. 4 is partial y with respect to v. Y is u squared v. Now the u squared is constant, take it outside. And partial with respect to v of v is 1, so it's u squared. Now therefore, partial z with respect to v is equal, what is a 1? 1 is right here. ye xy times 2 is right here, u cosine of v plus 3 with 3 right there, xe xy times 4 is right here, u square, right? Now these, we already plugged them in. Let's do it again. We already plugged it. So what is a y? Y is u square v e. We need to replace the x and y by its value. xy, we already did that earlier. It's going to be u cubed, same thing, u cubed v sine v. Now this is going to be u cosine of v plus, now the x is u sine v, and then that we did earlier, same thing, so it's u3, same as that, u3v sine of v times u square. We're done. All we need to do is simplify anything that could be simplified. So multiply this by that, you'll get u3 v cosine v e u3 v sine v plus, multiply this by that, u3 sine v e u3 v sine v, and we're done from this problem.